Hi, I'm Tom Campbell from Cultaholic.com, back with Sam Driver. Rolled the sleeves up.
Yeah, rolled the sleeves up.
Because there's more news.
More news.
It's the busiest wrestling day of the Friday. Let's get straight into it. The original finish to the Fiend versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell has been revealed. A WWE SmackDown star is out for a very long time. And a former WWE Champion is rumoured to return tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. More on that soon. So almost a week on, that Hell in a Cell match continues to come up. And according to Dave Meltzer, what we saw on Sunday night, Sam Driver, could have very well been what they call in the biz an audible.
Yes, it looks like they could have called an audible.
So according to Dave Meltzer, he says the following: the original idea for the finish was that Wyatt would take a gimmicked bump off the top of the cage and be unable to continue, and the match would be stopped. Then, after it was stopped, he would pop up like The Undertaker and take Rollins out with the mandible claw. How would you feel about that finish being a thing?
Yeah, it'd be a great finish. It'd be a lot better than the finish we got. I'd worry about what the call would have been when it happened, because we obviously had For the Love of Mankind when Shane went off the cell, and that made my toes curl up, and they've just started to uncurl now. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense, because this ending was just sort of shocking. It was a bit oof. Like, it was...
It did feel very peculiar, and apparently, then this furthers the speculation that either Bray or Seth Rollins suffered a concussion during that match. I think it's leaning more likely, if anybody did, it would have been Bray Wyatt.
Well, Cody said that when he was being asked about the AEW chance post-main event, he said that he wasn't going to talk about it just because, like, he wouldn't talk about the match because he knew that one of the guys got concussed, and, you know, it wouldn't be fair to talk about it like that. And given the fact that Seth Rollins is the one who was in control for most of the improvised ending, I guess, and he was the one piling all the weapons up, and I think it's looking, likely that Bray suffered the concussion and therefore wouldn't have been able to get up the cell, to go off the cell to do this finish.
If it does transpire that this whole thing has come about because Bray Wyatt was concussed and couldn't take the bump, so they had to sort of figure it out on the fly, I feel a bit harsh for the way that we've ragged on it for a week.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know, I guess it's sort of one of those things where maybe they need to start working out some small contingency plans for things like this, just in case. I know they probably already had contingency anyway, but this was... Oof, it was a bit unforgettable. Also, from the Wrestling Observer this week, Dave Meltzer says a former NXT champion, current SmackDown star, is going to be out of action for, quote, a decent length of time. We are, of course, talking about Ember Moon, who hasn't had the most auspicious of runs on SmackDown. I really feel like she's caught fire on the main brands. Yeah, she's just somebody that if you just invested enough time in, she can be the biggest star. But I think, it's just one of those things where the rosters are so deep that not everybody gets a chance to shine, and unfortunately she's been gently sort of cast aside, and it's a bit crap.
Ember Moon dealing with what we understand to be a nasty Achilles injury, which could see her on the shelf for a long time at this point. We don't know when she's due back or if she indeed requires surgery on that injury, but the fact that she's going to be out for such a long time, as reported, suggests it's not great. It's not great. I'm really sad about this, because I do think that, I know that Ember Moon, you say, has been sort of cast to the sides a little bit, but there's still so much potential. When she turned up in NXT first time round, like, bit awestruck by this new character that felt so different to everything else that had ever been offered, and I really hoped that would translate to the main shows, but it really didn't, which sucks.
If anything, it means we're going to get a huge return when she does come back. So
anybody that does basically a stunner off the top rope as a finisher is good in my book. It's a belter of a move. Two noteworthy notes regarding the draft, which begins tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. Both Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff, whilst the entire of the draft is very much under lock and key as to who's going where, Heyman and Bischoff are certainly pushing for some of their particular favourites to come to their side. At the moment, it's looking like Paul Heyman is keen to get the Fiend, Bray Wyatt and Aleister Black as part of Monday Night Raw, whereas exec of SmackDown Eric Bischoff is steadily pushing for somebody like Roman Reigns and for SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair to remain as part of the brand as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, this was always going to be something that was going to happen. These guys have been brought in to, I guess, gently run the shows, or at least take the blame when things aren't going quite to plan under Vince. But it doesn't surprise me that they'd be very vocal about who they want and where, but I think a lot of this is going to have to do with the networks. And they're going to have to just sort of make do.
I think the choices that they've made certainly feel like they belong on their respective shows. I think if SmackDown is going to become a very sports-heavy production, you're going to see if someone like a Charlotte Flair does fit well on there. Roman Reigns, I think, fits well on SmackDown as well. And then if Raw is going to be your more sports entertainment style program, your scary monsters and super creeps live on there. Bray Wyatt and Aleister Black are both a part of that, I think. Yeah. No, I think it's a strong fit for them. I can't think of anybody. I think in terms of like people who would go over to the SmackDown side, I think we said in the previous video, sort of the likes of Shayna Baszler, you'll have Lesnar over there. You'll have anybody who has any real sporting credentials, whether that's college level or otherwise, I think will be just thrust into SmackDown. Get on Friday nights, kid. So on WWE Now, every Thursday, they do a thing called the Injury Report.
Right.
Where they run down, almost like in top 5 fashion, like the top injuries from NXT the night before. It's a really peculiar premise of a program.
I mean, it's just making me think that the injuries aren't real.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Some of them come across as sort of kayfabe injuries, but in amongst that there is some potential concerns, including Kushida. Now Kushida suffered a wrist injury about 2 weeks ago during a 6-man tag on NXT, and it's been reported by WWE Now that injury has been re-aggravated. Now he's taking it day to day, and he hasn't been put on the inactive list or the injured list yet, but it's certainly one to keep a hold of. That match, and if you've had a chance to see it, the match he had with Volta was incredibly hard hitting, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all, but just hope it doesn't turn into anything more serious.
Kushida's in a really good place right now, what with NXT certainly burgeoning as this master brand. In my opinion, I'm biased, I do NXT graded. And also with the Cruiserweight Championship there now as well. Kushida's in a really strong place to do it. And if I want to see more people get hoverboard locked off the top rope.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to do much handspring back elbow stuff if he ain't got a wrist that's going to work.
More spring, more elbow, more back, less hand. Thanks, Kushida. And finally, one final note regarding tonight's draft on Friday Night SmackDown. We're set to see the return of a former World Heavyweight Champion, former WWE Champion, former United States Champion, former SmackDown Tag Team Champion, former Raw Tag Team Champion. He's won everything but the IC belt and the George Cross.
YouTube workout star.
We are, of course, talking about Sheamus. The Great White Sheamus, who hasn't been around for quite some time, and WrestleTalk have reported there are rumours doing the rounds.
Yes.
That Sheamus makes a comeback tonight.
I've been clamouring for Sheamus to come back for quite some time. He's in incredible shape. I just miss him. I miss his crack. I miss a big, scary Sheamus. Bring him back. Do you want him face or heel then?
Oh, I think he's at his best when he's a heel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
When he was King of the Ring and he had that incredible royal gear that he looked like he built in a forest.
Yes. Yeah.
With the horns and I love that. When he's I used to say when he's contemptible.
Yeah.
You know, he's at his best. And genuinely, him and Cesaro, when they were thrust together as a tag team, we talked about this a few weeks ago on the news. When they were thrust together as a tag team, at the time it was like, what are you doing? What a waste. And they just turned dust into diamonds. They were incredible. They just made They made an amazing team, and now Cesaro's doing his own thing. I'd like to see more of Cesaro.
But what are we going to do with Sheamus if and when he returns?
Now,
what are we going to do with him?
Which brand does he fit on?
I think he's Raw.
Yeah, you think he's more on the entertainment side?
He's ginger, which means he's a redhead, which means colour red, which means Raw.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
There you go.
Sheamus is going to Raw. Yeah, I think whichever brand he lands on, I think he's going to be good fun.
I'm just trying to work out like a big feud for him.
Okay, so when he left, well, surely him and Cesaro might be a nice little, because the whole reason they tag team together, let's go all the way back in today.
Well, it's, the best of 1,000 matches.
At the end when Mick Foley went, you're both winners.
Yeah.
And he was general manager that time.
Oh.
But maybe finish business with Cesaro. I don't know. He has said that he wants to come back and win the Intercontinental Championship because it's the only belt he hasn't won.
Okay.
So maybe Sheamus Shinsuke.
That'd be a nice little feud.
Be all right, wouldn't it? Do you know what? I'd be perfectly down with that. It would make me. I would certainly want to see Sheamus and Shinsuke Nakamura do a thing. That'd be quite fun. Hey, but if he turns up tonight, we'll be sat there watching live stream on the Cultaholic YouTube channel. Sam Driver and myself pulling the longest of days.
Oh, yeah.
As we will be bringing you live reactions for Friday Night SmackDown's WWE Draft special here on the Cultaholic YouTube channel a bit later on today. Are we going to do a little sleep before? Not together, but separately.
Gonna try.
All right, okay, we'll do that. I love you, bye.
Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow Cultaholic on Twitter @Cultaholic. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic, you can check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And no matter what you do, don't ever forget to hit subscribe and join us.